Okay, Adam, I'm going to attempt to do video feedback for the first time, so we'll see how this goes. The start of it, you've done really well because you've coupled all the different things together that you liked about the poem, and that was a really good way to introduce it. I think doing similar for your coursework is probably a good idea when you first look at the poem. Because what you've done is capture the main message as well, because we've got the old-fashioned ideology, and we've also got the religious imagery, so you're pulling out things that probably you'll look at later on, so that was really great. And I love this modern day individual excitement, antithetised with collective disappointment. That's such a brilliant sentence there. The poem has a positive outlook, okay. Yet I find it to focus too much on the people that aren't living their dream or aspiring to be rich and famous and Okay, brilliant. So that's quite balanced because you're looking at the other side of things and what's actually missing from the poem, which is a good thing to do. I think a balanced view to any poem that you're analysing is really important, so that you're looking at its successes and its failures as well. Overall, a really good introduction there, I would say. I don't know whether you've crossed that apostrophe out, but you don't need one, so that one needs to come out. Ultimately, yeah, really good introduction. Obviously, for your coursework, there'll be a bit of comparison in there between the poets that you're looking at. Okay, so let's look at the next bit. So the poem raises many issues. Okay, what I would say reading up to about here is that your paragraph rambles quite a lot about perfection, imperfections, and clarity. I think here is an issue. I get what that you're getting at throughout, but you do just need to describe it a little. Just slow down, I think. Just slow your analysis down a little bit. So look at the idea of imperfection and perfection. Find a couple of examples for that. Find some terminology to match it before moving on to kind of angels, demons, hero, villain, because that's other antithesis. And although it's related to imperfections, it's a different analysis that you're doing there, and you want to do each bit of analysis in depth. So I'd possibly have split those two ideas up. So introduce the idea of imperfection and perfection throughout the poem as a theme, explored that in a little bit of detail, and then gone into the angels, demons, heroes, villains as an aspect of that. Okay, and I think, yeah, that's an important thing to do. Okay, I'd suggest this bit here is a little bit informal. You're talking about kind of the attitudes towards it. I think you need to, although you're looking at that and that's great, you're actually looking at how maybe the poem was written to inspire, but actually it depresses them. You're looking at the realistic reader point of view, which is really fantastic. However, these two bits here, you might need to look at and just make them a little bit more academically worded, I would suggest. There is effectiveness in this poem. I'm not so sure that word exists or should be used there. Constant collective pronoun changes are apparent themes, highlighting differences in the poem and in people. Yeah, I mean, you summed it up in the short time that we had. Obviously, with that analysis, you'd then look at the listings and how that brought out other themes. So I think exploring as many different themes as you can is important. So through any poem, try to look at the different themes that are coming through. Just to look at your self-assessment. Average proofreading. Yeah, I'd suggest there's clarity. Look at your vocabulary, more of an academic vocabulary. Fluency is good for such a short piece. I'd suggest just carry that on. Fluency in your work is generally not an issue. You're quite good at connecting ideas, but I think clarity really is the main thing you need to work on. Yeah, terminology was definitely an afterthought thrown in. You need to integrate it. It absolutely has to be integrated for the coursework. So get to grips with last year's terminology again. Remind yourself what that was. Look at it again. Make sure that you understand it because you'll be introduced to the new stuff soon. Exploration is of good quality, analysis less so. I'd absolutely agree with that. You've really engaged with the themes and the messages, and you've explored kind of the poem's successes and also kind of failures. But the analysis does need to be worked on, so you do need to look at the terminology and just exploring how the language has been used. So really good piece of writing for the start of term. Really loved your introduction. Your vocabulary is really expanded. You're starting to write in a much more academic way from what you first did at the start of AS, so really well done for that. I'd suggest work on your analysis and make sure that everything is measured. So slow down your analysis and try not to fit in everything so quickly. I know obviously with the time constraint that was maybe the issue here, but those are my tips for next time. So well done, Adam. Thank you very much.